Thank you. Good afternoon. First, I will give you an introduction and overview of metaphysics, and then I will give you my thoughts on the subject of today's conference theme from a metaphysical perspective. First, I would like to let you know that I'm representing metaphysics, even though it's not yet, and it's that new on the front of the tablecloth or banner. So it is fairly new, and even though it has been around for a long time, the metaphysics as denomination is fairly recent. Thank you. Could you hear the first part? Okay, thanks. So the term was already used by the Greek metaphysical, meaning beyond or above physics. It has been addressed by many philosophers, spiritual scholars, and thinkers. Today, though, metaphysics can be defined as the study of mind, energy, and matter that is often invisible to the human eye. It also deals with universal laws and principles, consciousness, mysticism, intelligence, spirituality, and the purpose of all life. The most well-known forerunner of modern metaphysical science and founder of the Metaphysical Ministry as a viable denomination was Dr. Paul Leon Masters, who ordained the first metaphysical ministers in 1963 in Los Angeles. In 1976, he also founded the University of Metaphysics. He then founded the International Metaphysical Ministry, and in 1989, he accommodated so the worldwide interest and enrollment in his courses. 14 years after that, he founded the University of Sedona. Perhaps the most important achievement of all of Dr. Masters' efforts were the support and advancement of higher consciousness research, education, and advanced New Thought metaphysics. Today, there are ordained metaphysical ministers in over 120 countries and over 12,000 graduates and students. Over 7,000 of them have active ministries, and the numbers are growing rapidly. In 2006, Dr. John Bright from Vernon, BC, established the Canadian International Metaphysical Ministry, and today we have nearly 300 active ministers in Canada, and as of yesterday, we have 117 ministers in British Columbia alone. As metaphysical ministers, we are registered with the BC government to perform legal weddings and a variety of other common ministerial services, such as end-of-life ceremonies or any other solemn ceremony that may be required. We invite conversations which facilitate the expansion of knowledge and increased awareness across religions and cultural traditions. We are inclusive, faith-friendly, diversity-sensitive, and multicultural. Racism, sexism, homophobia, Islamophobia, and xenophobia, for example, and our often unconsciously created us and them mentality wanes as we become a part of assisting others to engage in love-based, responsible behavior, which can lead to the creation of an environment which allows all individuals to grow and prosper. As metaphysicians, we are dedicated to help all individuals who are genuinely seeking spiritual guidance. Let me share with you just a few of the core beliefs of our faith that we as metaphysicians all share. And by the way, you can also look this up on our website, metaphysicalacademy.com. Number one, we believe in a singular God who created the universe, all life, visible and invisible. And that the term God can be replaced by other terms such as the divine, Spirit, Father, Mother God, Elohim, Allah, all that is, supreme intelligence, source, creator, or any other synonym that relates to deity. We also believe that we as humans are incapable of fully comprehending and defining God, but that we can develop and nurture a personal relationship with Him. We believe that God gave us freedom of will, and with this gift, full accountability, an essential part of the law of karma, the ultimate combination of love and justice. And that karma is not God's malicious invention, as some humans believe. We also believe that no one else can or could ever do the work and fulfill the task for someone else, nor save anyone. We believe that the study of spiritual scriptures and devotional practices alone are not enough. We need to act as well. We recognize that the spiritual path is highly individual and at times difficult, and not without human suffering. And we believe that with an expanded knowledge of karmic conditions and a deeper understanding of universal laws and principles, it will be much easier to accept our human experiences. Metaphysicians recognize that world peace starts from within. It starts from within by respecting the rights of all life, being truthful, treating ourselves and others with dignity, with kindness and with consideration, focusing our thoughts and actions on progress and solutions, refraining from any type of war, including offenses, and entering into discussions and dialogue towards collaboration, peaceful agreements and cooperation. And this includes friendly competition, which is the theme for today. We also believe that it's important to keeping our word, developing our intuition, strengthening our ability to love and serve without any other agenda. And last, have unshakable faith in God's divine plan. At the core of our beliefs is our commitment to continued spiritual education and development, self-study, open-mindedness, critical thinking, and, as I mentioned earlier, responsible action. Many individuals during the past several years have asked me the question, Anneli, what is a metaphysical minister? And this is what I told them. Like all other well-intended ministers, we are seekers of truth. One of the differences is that we don't ascribe to any one main source of spiritual scripture or philosophy, but rather investigate and study multiple sources of spiritual teachings and information. We also study the history of religions and compare their messages, as well as study mysticism. We believe that God, or Spirit, reveals Him, her, or itself in all cultures through special messengers, both men and women. We believe that God has done this since the beginning of mankind and continues to do so. As metaphysical ministers, we recognize that there is only one truth that is unerring, complete, and just. However, we also realize that no one on this planet knows it all, and can at best get closer and closer to the truth through his or her own diligent spiritual quest. We also believe that every human on this earth has a unique and personal understanding and relationship with the divine, as well as through the exercise of his or her free will, a personal responsibility for his or her own spiritual development and consciousness expansion. As metaphysicians, we are dedicated to help all individuals who are sincerely seeking spiritual guidance. Our overall goal is to help fill the universe with human souls that are pure, so as to have a universe that is ruled by peace, freedom, and harmony, and governed by love and intelligence. This response, by the way, also published in our quarterly newsletters, and I would be happy to send to anyone who would like to have a complimentary copy to do that via internet. So if you would like to have that, please see Reverend Jolene. Would you raise your hand, Jolene? Jolene's over there, and just give to her your information during the break, and we will send it to you. And now my comments about today's theme. Competition is a social process where people try their best to do something better than others so they can win. But competition between friends is different. Friendly competition is a dynamic, ongoing process where individuals vie to outdo one another in a multitude of domains. However, the focus is to do our very best. We can learn from each other about success and failures, and so save a lot of time and energy to continue to pursue good work. There are also no secrets. Friendly competition is invigorating and enjoyable, as we can build stronger and more contented and even wealthier and all-around happier societies. And we do that by cooperating with one another. But traditional competitive relationships are toxic and draining for both parties. The first step towards friendly competition with other religions and spiritual traditions is to be willing to get to know each other. And that's what we're doing here today. Mr. Rizwan Prasada had the vision over 10 years ago to contribute to this very first step by creating these World Religious Conferences. And he did that throughout British Columbia. And I know he had forerunners and he had a lot of team members and a lot of supporters doing it. But I imagine that very few know how much dedication and work it is to pull this off several times a year in different cities. So thank you, Mr. Prasada. Recently, and it might look like I'm diversing now somewhere else, but I came across a book called Conscious Capitalism, written by John McKay, and founder of Whole Foods, and Rajendra Sidosia, hope I pronounced it correctly. He's professor of marketing at Bentley University in Massachusetts. How many know this book, Conscious Capitalism? Could I just have a raise of hand? Highly would recommend you check it out. You probably get a good copy at Russell's bookstore, because it gives everyone here new insights about what is possible when we are vying for friendly competition in a business context. The messages in this book lead us directly to what metaphysics in action is all about. What an amazing and beautiful trend we are a part of in many countries around the world. And here are my personal thoughts on ways and how to inspire friendly competition. Number one, I suggest, after getting to know each other, which we are doing here, is to define our own beliefs clearly. It's very interesting that some people I'm talking to say, no, Anneli, I don't really quite know how to define my beliefs. And what I'm suggesting then is that maybe to just look on the internet and find out what other religions are all about, other cultures are all about, or pay attention when you travel and see what people's core beliefs are. It helps to identify our own, because we cannot really compare and grow unless we are at least in the process of defining what is most important to us. Number 2, set a good example in what you think, say, write, and do. 3, seek out new knowledge and inspiration outside of your organization. Number 4, be respectful and courteous at all times. Don't allow heckling or criticizing. 5, avoid subversive behavior. Plain and simple, don't badmouth others' beliefs. Keep your reputation and values strong and your conscience clear by staying away from unprofessional gossip. Rather than taking on a divisive relationship, opt to collaborate and form alliances if possible. Number 6, remain genuinely communicative and friendly. 7, ensure having fun. In my experience, that is that very spiritual people really know how to laugh. They know how to enjoy each other. They can laugh at themselves. They have a good time. And you probably all can relate to that, because spirituality is not just some heavy-duty deal. Number 8, embrace and support a variety of approaches to do good works. And I'm closing with a quote that many of you may have heard. It's an anonymous quote, so I don't know where it came from, but it says, "Life is no competition. Find the stuff that makes your soul sing and be your own uniquely beautiful self." Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Driessen. I really enjoyed the definition of what friendly competition is. I'm looking forward to engaging her in discussion during break so we can learn more about that.